Devastating news has emerged today, as NBA fans have all found out that Klay Thompson has suffered yet another season-ending leg injury before the year even started, with him rupturing his right Achilles. It sucks to see. So many fans, including myself, were dreaming of the return of the Splash Bros after a poor season from Golden State in 2020. But it seems we'll have to wait until 2022 to finally see that become a reality. With this injury, it leaves Golden State in an awful place. They were viewed as serious candidates to win it all next season, and now it's looking like they'll only be fighting for a playoff spot. There's obviously still a lot of hope with this team, considering their recent trades and acquisitions through the draft. But again, after this significant injury, there's a lot of question marks about this team. So, in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Golden State Warriors, how good I believe their current roster is after the first couple of weeks of the offseason, and asking the most common question for them right now: what's next? Before we start, if you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content like this. I'm trying to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that all being said, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Let's take a look at the Golden State Warriors off-season moves so far first, so the draft and any trades they've made since November 16. Today was the first day the Golden State Warriors made a sizable trade, moving a protected 2021 draft pick for Kelly Oubre Jr. from OKC, and I'm a big fan of this move. Oubre broke out in Phoenix after being traded from Washington, and his scoring ability has drastically improved. He's been averaging a career-high 19 points per game this season, and has been shooting a career-high from 3 as well, so to bring that over is very valuable, especially with the loss of Klay Thompson. As for the draft, the Warriors selected James Wiseman, number 2 overall, Nico Mannion at 48, and Justinian Jessup with the 51st pick. The selection of James Wiseman is mediocre to me. I mean, he was pretty obviously their best bet on the night, considering their poor depth at the big man position, but it's nothing really special. The difference between him and a guy like Okongwu isn't huge, so they probably could have moved down or even traded the pick completely, to be honest, but I do understand why having a young talent like Wiseman is a win. With that said though, this isn't an insane selection. It's not going to benefit the Warriors that much, at least compared to a team like the Hornets getting LaMelo Ball or a team like the Pistons getting Killian Hayes. It was just the right thing to do since they failed to trade their pick. As for the addition of Nico Mannion, I think he was a great selection. He's definitely a project player, and there's obvious reasons why he fell so much in the draft. But I think behind an elite guard in Stephen Curry, Mannion can learn a lot and become a good rotation player down the track. The final guy the Warriors drafted, who I normally wouldn't care too much about, but he may become important in the future, is Justinian Jessup, who played for Boise State, I believe, in college. He's an elite 3-point shooter and has a lot of raw potential, but apparently he's coming here to Australia to play in the NBL. With his elite shooting though, he could be seen as a guy that could fill Klay's role a tiny bit, so there is a chance he gets some game time in Golden State once his 1-year deal with Illawarra ends, though it is unlikely he'll play in 2021. If I had to grade the moves Golden State has made so far this offseason, I'd give them a solid B for now. The draft was pretty underwhelming for them, though I do like their second round picks at a glance, and I'm also a massive fan of the Kelly Oubre deal, so I'm excited to see how this lineup pans out in the future. With that said though, there's still a lot of time left in the offseason, and the Golden State Warriors should be heavily targeting free agents and making trades, as the depth on this team is pretty poor. Outside of their starting lineup, Golden State lacks the talent to be considered a serious threat to come out of the stacked Western Conference, especially with Klay gone now. So, what should the Golden State Warriors do next? I have some players they should target in free agency, and then a couple of trade ideas for them, but let's look at free agency first, since it's basically upon us now. The first free agent I think the Warriors could go after is Joe Harris from the Brooklyn Nets. Harris is an unrestricted free agent this offseason and may look to sign elsewhere, with his role on Brooklyn likely diminishing due to superstars of Kyrie and KD hopping on board. His touches would go down there, so that's why he may seek to join Golden State, a great shooting team that has a lot of ball movement in their system. As Harris is now well into his prime, 29 years old, he may want a consistent role on a contending team, and the Warriors can definitely offer him that with Klay Thompson out of the picture. Harris just a couple seasons ago was probably a top 5 shooter in the whole league, and I think he could come close to that status again in Golden State. Overall, Golden State need him to help fill the void Klay will leave, and Harris needs Golden State to provide him a solid payday and consistent role. I think there's still a big chance he stays in Brooklyn with the dream of a title, but I think the Warriors will have a good go at him, and there's a pretty good chance he signs on in the Bay Area. The final player I think the Warriors could target in free agency is Jay Crowder. Crowder was an important piece for the Miami Heat on their run to the NBA Finals, so for that reason, I think it's unlikely he joins Golden State. With that said though, the Warriors definitely should still chuck him an offer. His high intensity on both ends would be fantastic for Golden State's second unit, and even though his jump shot is very streaky, I think that can be overlooked and won't be a big liability for the Warriors next season. Again, I doubt this happens, but he's a good option and almost a perfect fit for Golden State, so I think they should search for him when free agency hits. Overall, out of those two free agents, I think the Warriors will most likely land Harris, but getting anyone there would be pretty huge for them. Before I get into some potential trades, I have to bring this up, because the Warriors need to answer this question now. The big question for the Warriors here is, do they want to wait it out for another season, see how well they can do with their current squad, plus some better role players from free agency, and get Klay back for a rerun in 2022? Or do they go for it all right now and blow things up a bit and acquire another star? That second option would try to get them back into legit title contention. So now, the Warriors are in a peculiar position. This is a situation I don't think I've ever seen happen this close to the start of a new season before, and it's hard to see where they go from here too. It's going to be a tough decision to make. This injury has thrown a humongous spanner in the works for Golden State, and they're running out of time to fix it. With that being said though, what's a trade the Warriors could make this offseason to help out Curry? Now I'm not sure what's going on with the Bucks-Kings sign and trade, but as of right now, it seems as if it has fallen through unexpectedly. That is great for the Warriors, as they could potentially throw a fair amount of money at Bogdanovic to lure him away from the Kings, and he would be a fantastic signing. Bogdanovic is probably the best fourth option in the league. He's a good shot creator and offensive piece, and has a deadeye from deep range. The fit in Golden State looks good to me on paper as well. He would probably come off the bench as a 6-man to start, but he does have potential to work his way into the starting lineup, perhaps over Wiggins, who may be suited best as the leading scorer of the second unit. Again, the biggest attribution he brings to Golden State is his shooting, which is important with Klay gone, but his solid defense and improving offensive creation ability is a really exciting prospect to me. So though he may cost the Warriors a fair amount, he'd still be a great pickup in my opinion potentially. For what the Warriors could give in return, they'd probably throw in a guy like Jordan Poole and either Kevon Looney or Eric Pascal. It'd have to be one of those two. Maybe a future pick as well, and a guy like Alen Smailagic may get the deal done, but who knows what the Kings will look for. That's a similar deal I think to the one the Bucks gave to the Kings, maybe a bit worse, but still similar, but we'll have to wait and see what would happen. Again though, this is probably the best move the Warriors could attempt to pull off this offseason in regards to a trade. Bogdanovic would be a great player in the Warriors system, so the prospect of him joining is very enthralling to me. But in the end, what should the Golden State Warriors do this offseason? As I brought up a little while ago, the starting lineup of this team is very good and can be extremely competitive with the best, though I doubt it moves them further than a second round exit. with Curry at the point, Oubre at the 2, Wiggins and Draymond at the forward spots, and James Wiseman likely at the 5. On paper, it's a solid team. However, for the most part, their depth is lacking, and I believe attempting to improve that this offseason is the key for them, and it's realistically what they should do. However, this won't make them an elite side like they would be with Klay Thompson. So now the question should be asked. Do they blow things up and trade for another superstar and ensure they are in title contention in 2021? Or do they run it back yet again with an inexperienced roster and hope for the best? That's probably the biggest question for the front office that they will have to answer in the next few weeks. It's really unfortunate to see a great side like Golden State in a situation like this. The Warriors, no matter how dominant and annoying they became, were one of the most fun sides in basketball to watch. So it is frustrating to see all these injuries occur to them. We just gotta wish Klay Thompson well and hope he has a speedy recovery so we can see the Splash Bros reunite on the court together sometime soon. To answer the title of the video though, what should the Warriors do next? In my eyes, I think they target guys like Harris and Bogdanovic to build up their bench depth and shooting/scoring guys, which will hopefully fill the void that Klay Thompson has left. Kelly Oubre is a perfect addition and a big step in the right direction. It's just up to the Warriors if they can keep it up. It's not all doom and gloom for the Warriors just yet. Losing Klay does hurt them a lot, but they're making the right moves currently. Though lacking experience together, this team is still a great chance at doing something special next season. So keep your head up, Warriors fans. Golden State is going to be fun to watch regardless in 2021, and I'm pretty confident they will return to the playoff picture once again. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? What's next for the Golden State Warriors in your opinion? Was trading for Kelly Oubre the right move? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.
Maniac beats.
I step with diligent men, slide round there 4 man 2 peds. Tryna aim at chest or heads, 6 in his middle, there's nothing left. My team come train like the SAS, we empty clips and reload again. Their drip gets ripped by the NHS, cause the cold don't miss is expensive lead. I step with diligent men, slide round